What's up? How's it going? What you doing? Did you miss me? Welcome back to the channel. Yeah, I know I have been gone for a while. Almost 2 months now. This channel was always on my mind, and I always knew at some point that I would get back to it. It wasn't like I was just gonna ghost you guys and just kind of leave on bad terms. No, it's been a while, man. It's been a while, and I'm going to get into everything that's been going on. But first, before I do that, I want to say to my new subscribers, thank you for subscribing. Even though this channel hadn't been updating in 2 months, you guys still subscribed, and I appreciate that. I want to say thank you to the people that have been commenting that they were following my journey and they wanted an update. Excuse me. I just had breakfast, and I appreciate that. I appreciate everybody and all the comments and all the people who have been asking where I've been, what's my new update, and how life is going. And I'm going to get into that right now. One more thing before we take care of that part. Let's take care of business on the first part of if you're new to the channel, thank you. And if you're watching this video and you haven't subscribed, please go ahead and subscribe. I know that you guys hold on to those subscribe buttons like they are badges of $1 million gold. But if you could please spare some of that gold, I would humbly appreciate it. And please share this video, like this video. It'll go a long way in making sure that I can continue to make this content. It'll also make sure that these videos get boosted up in the algorithm. And if you find this video helpful, then liking this video, sharing it, or subscribing will boost this content in the algorithm, and it'll help the next person in their trucking journey, in their life journey, right? Because that's what this channel is about. Let's go ahead and get into it, right? The last video that I gave you guys was back sometime in July. I was still in TNT training with Prime Inc. And I had about 6,000, maybe 6 or so thousand miles left to complete. And I was also expecting my first daughter. Me and my beautiful partner, we were expecting our first daughter. And she has arrived. Our beautiful, bouncing, gorgeous, lovely, full of life and energy baby girl came. And she came a little bit early, and that's okay. But she was about 2.5, 3 weeks early. But she came into this world kicking and full of life. She was almost 8 pounds. She was 7 pounds and I think 9 ounces. She was born on July 31st. And I have just been enjoying life with her. Me and Anita have just been taking this time in the last 2 months to just really enjoy parenthood, our newfound journey, and and being parents. And we have accepted this journey with open arms, and we have just been soaking it all in. And I can't take my eyes off of her. She is the most adorable, cute little girl that I have ever laid my eyes on, and I just cannot say enough about her. She's 2 months. She's 2.5 months now. She is 95 percentile in height and weight. So she is a strong, tall, beautiful little girl. And she's 2.5 months, and she's already getting the urge to want to walk. And I know that that's probably something that a lot of people will say, hey, don't let her walk at that age, but we can't help it. She wants to walk. Like, she wants to freaking walk. And it's one of those things where it's like, we're not encouraging it. It's just, she has just found her legs. She knows that they're there, and she is ready to go. She's everything to us, man. She's our world, and I've just been enjoying the time that I've had with her. And that's been amazing. Anita is at home, of course. She's she's the at home of this at home on the road thing, and she's just been the most amazing caregiver to our baby girl that I could ask for. She's an amazing mom, and she handles our baby girl with so much care and love, and it's great. It's a great feeling to know that you're going into this parenthood thing with the amazing partner. So let's pick up where we left off back in July, right? I was on my trainer's truck. And let's talk about how Amore, our baby girl, she got here, right? She got here early. Last time that I was on my trainer's truck, I was finishing up my 6,000 miles, right? And we had just gotten to, I believe it was Indiana. Yeah, we had just gotten to Indiana. We were dropping off a load in Indiana. And our dispatch sent us a load from Indiana going to Durham, North Carolina, which is like literally 30 minutes from my home. And on that day, it was July 30th, right? It was July 30th when they offered us that load. Now, in the back of my mind, I've been talking to my partner, I've been talking to Anita, and she was like, hey, like, I'm really feeling like this baby is close. And she had maybe said that a couple of times, and I really never really paid much attention to it. I'm like, yeah, I know you just want this baby out of you, whatever. But for whatever reason, on this particular day, I just had this feeling of like, something big is going to happen here soon. I'm just feeling like I need to probably go ahead and start heading home. I just could not shake the feeling that I just needed to be home now. And so my plan, and so I didn't even know that we were going to get this load from Indiana to Durham, but it just made sense. I was like, well, okay, if we're going to get this load from Indiana to Durham, North Carolina, then I'm just going to go home from there, and I'll just be home until the baby comes, and I'll stay home for a couple of weeks, and then I'll come back out. I know that I'll probably have about 5,000 miles to complete, but hey, that's like a week and a half. I can complete those loads and be done, right? And so I'm thinking to myself, like, okay, I'll just do that. Game, set, match. Everything's good, and I'll be home with my baby girl. I get a call from Anita, and she's like, don't panic. Whenever somebody tells you don't panic, I'm gonna panic, right? You say don't panic, like, all right, I know what's about to happen. She's like, don't panic. But I just left my doctor's visit, and my blood pressure is a little high, and it's not going down, and they want to go ahead and induce me. And I'm like, in who? Where? What are you talking about? Like, that's not supposed to happen. And she's like, yeah, I know. I told them, like, you're on the road, and we're not supposed to have this baby until the 15th. And they were like, well, we got to go ahead and do it now because your blood pressure's up and yada, yada, yada. And so they wanted to induce her at the doctor's visit she went to the doctor's visit at like 10 a.m. They wanted to induce her then. And she was like, hey, no, like, I'm here by myself. My mom is at work. My partner is on the road. I don't have any of my support here with me right now. I cannot be induced right now. Can I at least go home, get my bag, call my support system and get them rallied around me to do this? And they're like, okay, well, as long as you come back by 5 p.m., yeah, that's fine. We can do this. We can go ahead and we can let you leave and then just come back tonight at 5 p.m. to have the baby. And so she calls me and she's like, I'm going to go in at 5 p.m. tonight. She's like, where are you? I'm like, hey, I'm in Indiana. And I'm telling her, hey, I have a load that is going to bring me from Indiana to Durham. So this is perfect. I can just get off the truck tomorrow. When do you think you're going to, that you're going to have the baby? And she's like, well, they're thinking that I'm going to give birth sometime in the early morning hours, 2, 3 a.m. I'm like, okay, well, this might not work. So I'm actively talking to my trainer. I'm like, hey, my partner's about to give labor. I got to get out of here. And I'm trying to figure out the best exit plan. I'm looking at flights, and flights are like, a flight at that particular time. You're in Indiana, so the closest place is Chicago O'Hare Airport. That's expensive money. That's big baller type deals. And last minute flight is like, over $1,000. And I'm like, well, that's not going to happen. So my next choice is, okay, bus tickets. So I look at bus tickets. I could have got on a bus on a Greyhound for like $125. It would have been a 36-hour bus ride. I was like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do it. So I was like, nope, not doing a bus. I refuse to get on a Greyhound. No, I'm not doing it. And on top of that, the Greyhound was going through some of the worst bus terminals in the country, right? And I was like, there's no way I'm about to go through St. Louis on a bus and and it was like a 4-hour layover. I was like, not doing it. Not my soft ass. I ain't doing it. It's not a hard bone in my body. Like, I'm not built for it. So I was like, nope, the bus ain't gonna work. And so my next idea was a rental car. I checked all the rental places. Hertz came through for your boy. I was able to get a rental car. It was only like $100 for the rental car. And so I booked a rental. My trainer drove me to the Hertz car rental about 45 minutes away, and I was able to get a rental. Now, when I got to Hertz to get the rental, I'm there to pick up my car, and they're like, hey, by the way, we don't have any gas vehicles. We only have some electric cars. And I'm like, okay, I'll take a Tesla. I'll go vroom, vroom down the road real quick. That's fine. And the person's like, yeah, but it's going to be a Chevy Spark. Excuse me? A who? A Spark? I've never heard of this vehicle. I don't know what the hell that is. And she points, and it's this little it's a compact. It is the smallest egg vehicle that you can possibly fit on a road and say it's a car. And she's like, that's all we have right now for your trip. All of our other vehicles are booked. And I'm like, okay, I guess I got to do what I got to do. All you have is this electric. I'll take it. So I take the electric car. I'm looking at my clock. I've got I think at the time it was probably a 12-hour drive. And I'm like, oh, that's nothing. 12 hours? Hell, I do 10-hour days. I'm about to breeze through this drive with ease, right? Wrong. The electric vehicle that they gave me was a Chevy Spark, and it had a fuel or energy efficiency range of about 225 miles, which meant that I could go probably about 175 miles before I needed to recharge the vehicle. Recharging takes about 90 minutes to get to 75% battery, and then it would take another hour to complete 80% battery, and then it would take another hour to complete the 20%. So you would basically sit somewhere for 2.5 hours, charging this car just so you can get 175 miles down the road. Now, I had to drive about 360 miles. So that meant that I was going to have to stop and charge this vehicle about 3 times. So that's about 9 hours that was added to my trip. So now this trip goes from being a 11-hour trip to being a 20-hour, almost a full day trip, right? So I'm like, whatever, I got to do what I got to do. I can't complain here. This is all they got. I mean, I called around to other Hertz dealerships, and I asked other Hertz dealerships on my way to North Carolina, like, hey, I got this electric car. Can you guys just swap out this electric car for a gas vehicle? I'm trying to get home to my pregnant wife. And all of them were like, nah, we don't have anything. That's your best option, buddy. Kick rocks, keep it moving. And so that's what I did. I left out of Indiana at about 5 p.m. on the 30th. And of course, stayed on the phone for a lot of the time with my partner. They're telling me that, yeah, she's going to give birth in the wee hours of the morning, 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. And I'm looking like, well, I'm probably not going to get there in that window, but if we can just hold tight, don't push, maybe, I want to be there for this birth. And so, I would drive 175 miles and I would stop in some small town somewhere and charge the vehicle for 2.5 hours. And then I would drive another 175 miles. And by the time I got to West Virginia, it was about 2 a.m. and I got the call. Hey, I'm going into labor. And I'm like, what you mean? She's like, yeah, they're telling me it's time to push. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm on the West Virginia Turnpike. And she's like, my baby, Anita's like, well, can you pull over? I'm like, the Turnpike doesn't have anywhere to pull over. It's just 80-mile-an-hour bullet train. And I got to keep going. And I'm like, and so she's FaceTiming me. And I'm on the expressway, and I've got my phone set up on the mount, and I'm driving on the expressway. I'm going through, the toll areas, paying my little $5.75 while my partner is on FaceTime with her doctor, and her doctor is telling her to push, and I'm like, just, hey, here's my $5.75, and okay, babe, breathe, right? And so I'm driving, and she's going through her labor, and I'm on the phone with her, and I'm watching all of it happen, and the doctor or the nurse is saying, hey, we can start to see the head, and just push a little bit more, push, and all the rigmarole of it all. And I'm sitting there on the expressway, and I'm driving, and I'm just like, oh man, this is beautiful, and I wish I was there. But I'm getting there as fast as I can. And at about 2:33, I believe it was, or maybe 2:15 in the morning, she gave one more triumphant push, and that beautiful baby girl arrived. And she came out so calm. She was so calm. She gave a slight cry, and the nurse, handed our daughter to Anita, and she laid her on her chest. And she laid there with her eyes open, and she just like kind of she was welcomed into this world. And she just had this like this expression of like pure joy, just like she was content and happy to be here. And I'm still on the Virginia Expressway. It's now, 2:30 in the morning. And I'm just sitting there looking at, my baby girl, and life is forever changed, right? Long story short, I finally get to the hospital at about, I'd say about 9 a.m. And I get into the room, and, there's Anita, there's our baby girl, and everything is all right in this world. I was home for about 3 weeks with my baby girl, and then just enjoying life. And then it was time for me to get back on the road. And I just could not leave. It was not time for me to leave. So I reached out to Prime, and I told Prime, hey, I'm going to stay home a little bit more. I'm going to take some more time to just, be here. And my fleet manager was like, well, if you take more time, you're going to have to start over this mileage, and you're going to have to do 30,000 miles. So it's a trade-off, staying home and doing 30,000 miles, or going out and doing 5,000 miles. And I'm thinking to myself, well, I'm going to choose the one that makes more sense to me. And it may not make sense to a lot of you, or may not make sense to Prime, but it made sense to me. And I chose to be home. I chose to forego doing those extra 5,000 miles, because I wanted to be there and enjoy this tremendously sacred, beautiful moment in my life with my child. And so I told Prime that, hey, I'm just going to leave, right? I'm not going to come back out for you guys. I let my trainer know, and it was unfortunate because I told my trainer the day that he arrived to come and pick me up. And I wish that I could have told him sooner, but it was really a game time decision. And so he drove from where he was to come pick me up, thinking that we were going to get back on the road. And when I didn't get back on the road, it kind of upset him. And so he kind of told me that, hey, you're going to have to just find another trainer, because I can't go back and forth with this any longer, because it's interfering with my money, my income. Well, I completely understood him. I apologized, and so we parted ways. And that was probably going to happen anyway, because I wasn't coming back out and within the allotted time that I needed to come back out anyway. And so I knew that he wasn't going to wait for me. No bad things to say about him. He's an amazing trainer. And I thoroughly enjoyed the time that I had with him as my trainee and trainer. And so, when I figured out that I was going to have to train again with Prime and do 30,000 miles, I started to weigh my options. I started to say, I looked at it like, hey, I got my CDLs in April. I basically have 3 months of experience. I don't want to do 30,000 miles again. I just don't. I don't have the capacity. I feel like it was luck of the draw to even get the trainer that I got, and then to have to go through that process again with getting another trainer and not knowing if this trainer was going to be a good trainer, if I was going to have problems, and knowing that 30,000 miles could potentially take me another 2 months to do. No. And then on top of that, there were other issues that drove me away from Prime, that, you know, ultimately made my decision a little bit easier to want to just say, hey, okay, I appreciate my experience with Prime, but I think I'm going to take my talents elsewhere, right? And a couple of those things that I just wasn't comfortable with was, one, cameras, right? The inward facing camera, the outward facing camera. You know, I know that in previous videos I said that it wasn't a problem for me, and that was more so of me kind of trying to coach myself up to believing that it was okay. But at the end of the day, when I thought about it, I'm like, hey, I'm a new driver. All these other drivers have had years of experience with no camera. I don't want a camera, right? I just feel like it's an invasion of privacy, especially considering that I was going to lease. And I had done homework, and I found out that a lot of other companies, if you're leasing a truck, they don't put cameras in the truck because, you know, rightfully so, you're paying for this equipment. If you go out here and tear it up, fuck it up, excuse my French, it's, you know, you're the one paying for it, you know, hey, whatever. But if you're a company driver, then it's like, okay, yeah, I can understand putting a camera in the truck. And I was going to go lease. I was not going to be a company driver. I was going to go full lease. And I did not want to deal with the cameras. It just didn't sit well with me. The other issue that I had was there were some things at Prime as far as the fleet managers that I felt like they treated the drivers, and this is from my time with my trainer and also hearing from other drivers, they treat the drivers with a lot of disregard. And I kind of overlooked it for a long time, but you know, when I told my fleet manager that I wasn't going to be coming back out, he wasn't really understanding. And he was more of like just very business, just very like, hey, like, you know, you need to be back out here because, you know, this is, you know, your money and, you know, your life, yada, 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 this, that, and third. He wasn't understanding. And I just didn't like the tonality of how he spoke to me. And I had looked over a lot of other instances where I had called Prime and spoke to someone, and their tone of how they spoke to me as a 39 now year old man, it just didn't feel like you were giving me the proper respect. And I felt like a lot of the time they were just being dismissive, and they just wanted to get you off the phone. And it didn't really feel like they were invested in me being there as a driver. You know, they preach that your fleet manager is not your manager, you guys are partners. But it didn't feel like that. And so that last conversation, I was just like, I don't think I want to be here. I don't think I want to invest any more of my time here if I have this feeling, because I can be a very calm person. I can be a very personable person, but there's only so much that I can take. There's only so much that I can bear and take before it gets to a point where I'm going to speak my mind, and it's probably not going to come out in conducive to a great relationship going forward. And so I realized at that time that, like, okay, that's another reason why I can just walk away from this company. Here we are, not at Prime anymore. I've left. I'm not at Prime. So where am I, right? What company did I go to? And that's what you guys all want to know. I left Prime, and I am with a new company. And this company, I want to tell you guys, it's a really good company. I got my own truck. As you can see, I'm in my own truck now. I have my TV up. I got my microwave. I got snacks. I got clothes. I got a fridge. It feels good to be in my own truck. It feels amazing. It feels quite amazing to be in my own truck. And I have been in my own truck since day one that I started with this new company. And it feels really well. It feels good. This company is amazing. I'm going to tell you guys what this company is, but I'm not going to tell you in this video because this video has been really long, and I want to introduce my company that I'm with now in a video that's a little bit shorter because I want to give them a proper introduction. But I will say this. This company pays me well. I'm a company driver. I do not have any cameras. I'm on a dedicated route. I'm home just about every other day. And I am home every other weekend, and I am home every Saturday. What's not to like? It's a great company. I have a dedicated route. I go from Jacksonville, North Carolina, up to the Canadian border, and I do that either 1 or 2 times a week. And I'm home almost every other night, and yeah, it feels good. It feels good, and I enjoy what I do. So yeah, that's been an update for you guys. You know, I appreciate you guys being, you know, so patient with me. I promise more content is going to come here soon. I'm learning this new company that I'm with. I'm learning, you know, how to be a better driver. My backing has gotten so much better. I think I talked in some of my other videos about my backing, and my backing is getting better and better every day. And so the new drivers out there, if you are, you know, I know I had a lot of drivers who were saying they were following my journey and they were, you know, going to Prime because of my videos. If you're still there, excuse me, if you're still there, or if you're with another company and you're just watching my videos to try to get a sense of, oh man, sorry. If you're just watching my videos trying to get a sense of this industry, I want to tell you that your backing will get better. Practice it, and it will get better. It may seem like the most daunting task to begin with, but if you're diligent and you are patient, you will learn the small minutiae of this truck, and you will learn the mechanics of how this truck operates, and you will find a rhythm, and you'll find certain little keys that will let you know what to do in certain situations. Watch other truckers as they back up. I do that a lot. And you'll learn, like, oh, I'm being loaded now, so you're gonna hear some bangs. I'm gonna try to get out of this video before it gets really loud and the truck starts shaking. But just learn, it'll get there. Yeah, I think that's it for this video, guys. Again, if you like this video, if you found this video entertaining, please like, share, subscribe, comment. If you're at Prime now, Godspeed to you. I don't think Prime is an inherently bad company. I just think for the time that I was there, it served my needs. And if I had to do this thing all over again, I would go to Prime again. I'm not against Prime in any way. I'm not talking bad about Prime. I know a lot of people have things negative to say about Prime, but whatever. That's their opinion. Prime worked for me when I needed it to work for me. It gave me my CDLs. It gave me a shot to get into this industry, and I'm forever thankful. And so I'm with a new company now, and I'm enjoying this journey here. And that's just what it is. So, all right, y'all. This has been a long video as it is. I don't want to take up too much more of your time. Y'all be good out there. Take care. Be safe. Make this shmoney. And I'll talk to you guys later. Peace.